And today's episode concerns a young man who went to visit the doctor. He complained to the doctor. This is a guy in his upper 20s. He complained to the doctor of aches in all different parts of his bodies. His arms were aching him, his legs were aching him, his back. He had frequent debilitating headaches, not necessarily migraine, but headaches that bothered him terribly. And the doctor ordered a whole series of exams, including a CT, a CAT scan. And when the tests came back, and the doctor reviewed each one carefully, one after the other, each test came back basically perfect. This guy was the epitome of good health. And as he went over the conversation that he had in his office with the fellow and checked some notes that he made and thought about it and the impression and what the patient was saying, he came to the conclusion that this was all psychosomatic. It was not just the headache that was in his head, but that he was imagining these aches and pains. And so he called them to come for the follow-up visit. And he didn't tell him about the results directly. He told him that after reviewing the results, he decided to take a change in course of action. He himself, he explained to the patient, is a traditional doctor of Western medicine, but this time he feels that the best course of action is more with a naturopathic medication, but it's quite expensive. He told him that a 30-day supply was going to cost $200. Does he want to do it? And the patient said, absolutely. I need to get rid of these pains. Absolutely. I'm willing to go ahead with that expense. And the doctor got the medication. In truth, it was a placebo. He got the medication. The patient came in. He went over with the patient what needed to be done, said to him, take this for 30 days and set an appointment for the 31st day to come in. And the fellow paid him the fee, no questions asked. At the end of the 30 days, when the young man walked in for his appointment, right away the doctor saw he was a different person. He looked more confident, he held himself well, he was smiling. And the doctor asked him, how you doing? And he said to the doctor, you gave me back my life. I'm so grateful. And the doctor did a couple of perfunctory checks on his pulse, his heart rate, listened to his chest a little bit. And he said, you're cured. You're great. And the fellow went home very happy. A couple of days later, the doctor connected with Rabbi Silberstein. He told him the story, and he told him that this drug, cost him like $8. He had felt that it was important to tell the patient that it was an expensive drug as part of the treatment. But he feels in the end, what he took for the $8 that the placebo cost him, and what his normal follow-up visit would cost, that he collected more money than he normally would receive from a patient. And does he owe a refund to the patient? And Rabbi Silberstein answered him, the short answer is no. He did not owe a refund. You worked to restore the person's health, and you succeeded in restoring his health, said Rabbi Silberstein. And most likely, the fact that the drug was expensive, the patient paid more attention to the role that the drug could play in his life. If it was like a cost of over the counter, which this fellow had taken every over the counter pain medication possible and didn't really help him. If it was another one in that price range, he probably would not have regarded it as having the potential to bring him relief. So Rabbi Silverstein agreed totally with the doctor's methodology, with the pricing, and gave him a Yoshikayach. And the story reminds me of one of my favorite pitkamim from the end of last week's parak in Pirkei Avot. Rabbi Meir teaches, Al tistakel b'kankan ele b'ma sheyesh bo. Don't look at the picture, but look what's inside it. In its literal meaning, it's not so hard to do that. You know, you could look at a beautiful picture, but if it has, wine in it or vinegar or water, it's a different situation. In fact, wine in a silver pitcher is not the best thing if it stays there too long. It's not good for its flavor. So the vessel is not as important as what's inside. Comes true for people. The doctor had the insight to understand that more was happening with this person than what met the eye, that he was more wholesome inside than he was on the outside. And so too it is with many situations. There are different levels to what meets our eye. And even at this trying time of dealing with the virus and protecting ourselves, and Baruch Hashem, we've done an excellent job protecting ourselves. But it's not easy. And on the surface, it causes its own hardships. But we should all have the koyach to look through the more obvious picture of the kankan, in Rabbi Meir's words, to see beneath the surface and to do the best we can to always find the beautiful aspects of life, because there are still plenty of them around. Even being together tonight like this is a beautiful aspect. And I wish us all a Shavua Tov.